Just like our Red Table Talk sisters, we have brought 3 generations together to talk family, relationships, and social issues from the perspective of 3 fabulosas Latinas. Listen to Red Table Talk, the Estefan's podcast, on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Have you ever watched a classic film and thought, wait, was that bad? Tossed Popcorn is a new movie review podcast for the common moviegoer from Stanford-educated idiots Liana Holston, that's me, and me, Sienna Jekyll. Tossed Popcorn yanks the classics off their pedestal with blunt irreverence, genuine confusion, and witty banter. Tune in as we review a different film each week from AFI's 100 Greatest Movies list. Kernels will fly as 2 tired women throw their hands up in exasperation and yell, "This won the Oscar?" Listen and subscribe to Tossed Popcorn on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
I want to get back to kissing the cheeks of my grandbabies, making Sunday dinner with a house full of family and lots of laughs.
COVID-19 has changed how we live and how we feel. But now, there are vaccines. And they are the very first step that let us get back to what we miss most. It's okay to have questions.
Is it safe?
Should I wait?
Now, get the facts. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision when vaccines are available to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show, everyone. It's the, 4th show of the week. Thursday. We're going to be back on Monday. Always a little bit sad at the end of the week because I love starting off my day this way. And I am starting my day, let's be honest. It's 11:39 here and woke up very late today. Was up super late last night. Pulled an all-nighter. Won't get into it, but a lot of emotional roller coaster of an evening that thankfully at the culmination of it was really good. For a while there, I wasn't going to sleep because I was like, I don't want to wake up in the mood that I'm feeling right now. Do you ever do that where it's like you don't want to go to bed angry, even at yourself or the world, and you're like, let me try to get to a place where when I open my eyes, I'm not revisited by these feelings I'm feeling now. So I woke up feeling a lot better, and I say that with quotes around it because I woke up and, my morning routine is always go out to the kitchen, throw in some oatmeal, then walk the dog, go to Starbucks, pick up my mobile order it in the elevator, pick it up, let the dog poop, walk back, eat the oatmeal, make another one, ask Noah if I can have 20 more minutes because I can do my makeup and put on a clean shirt and present myself and then step in here and do this. But today I went to Starbucks and grabbed my drink and oh my God, there's like a tip thing on the counter and I go there every day. And from reading the Starbucks subreddit, I just know those people work really hard and get a lot of gruff. Is that the word? From customers who feel entitled because they're paying $7 for a drink sometimes. And honestly, they should be a little bit entitled. That's a lot for coffee, milk, and sugar. But I went in I had cash on me in my little fanny pack. And I was like, I'll throw in a tip. And did I wait for them to kind of maybe be in my eye line when I did it? I did. Because when you throw in a tip, it shouldn't be about getting the credit for it. But if we all kind of look inside ourselves, giving an anonymous donation is probably the most selfless thing you can do. And whenever someone does it, I'm always like, wow, someone anonymously donated $50 million to, Garrett and Casey's GoFundMe. No, what a noble thing. But no, I definitely waited. And they never see you, they never see you. I threw in a $5. Because I'm a fucking hero. You guys know that. But I threw in 80% of the I tipped 80%. My drink is usually $6.47 or something. I mean, it's ridiculous that I spend oh my God, $13 a day on Starbucks times 30. I don't want to do the math. Let's not do the math. Don't write me the math. I wish I could Men in Black Blinky thing all of my math lessons. I mean, I essentially have I rely on a calculator a lot of times. Although I was impressed yesterday at my calculations for Andrew's 10,000 hours. I was listening to that podcast and I go, wow, I can't even follow what you were doing in that moment. I tapped into something that I didn't even know I was capable of. But then I throw in the tip and I leave and come back here, get ready, do my thing. And then I start to have a headache, like a little bit of a headache. I take some Excedrin and I'm like, oh, what is going on? And I go, let me get my coffee, and I cannot find it. And I'm, ADD. I set things down in weird places. So I go and I check the dryer and the washing machine. And no, I check everywhere I'd been that morning, like my closet, the guest bathroom. And I'm like, where did I set that freaking drink? And I picked it up from the mobile stand, walked one step, dug in my purse for a $5, and then didn't pick it back up and walked out without my coffee. Like, these are, that was just like, it was just, I know that's an example, but I didn't realize it till I got home. And like that to me that's because I didn't sleep last night. I'm going to attribute it to that. I also haven't taken my ADD meds today because, I don't know, I think I'm going to try to get off them or something. I'm at the end of my prescription and read some things last night from people who have opinions about me who, like to type and really love to wax poetic about what they think is going on with me psychologically and seem to want to diagnose me and said some cruel things about like how I've been and like, well, she mentioned she's on ADD meds, so maybe it's that, or maybe she's on cocaine, or maybe she's using like all these things that were really upsetting to read. And I don't usually read comments, and I've unsubscribed from like my subreddit and stuff like that to protect myself. But last night I had to go check something in a place where people do comment about me, and I went in and I kind of blurred my eyes so I didn't see anything I didn't want to see. But of course, to search for the thing you want, you have to read through the stuff that you don't want. And then I go, what is this? And then I clicked on it, and it was just a lot of, the same kind of thing that I was going off about the other day about, like, if you're someone who comments on celebrities, and I'm not saying that I'm just people you don't know personally, just don't. Or if you're really actually concerned about them, there's ways to reach out. Like, you can always DM me on my Instagram. That's a way to reach out. You can write a voice memo into the show, or like not write one. That'd be weird if you just voice memoed yourself scribbling on a paper. Maybe we would use it and I would turn it into an ASMR video, and I would say, even from these pencil scribblings, I can hear that this person thinks I'm doing drugs. And I've done it before too, where I go, something's changed about this lady or this guy. Oh my God, they look this way. Like I've zoomed in on Daily Mail photos, paparazzi invasive shots of celebrities, and made assumptions and had little thoughts to myself about what's going on with them, projecting my BS all over them. And maybe not even projecting. Maybe I'm genuinely concerned, or, although I will have to say, anytime I go, she has an eating disorder. I mean, that's like, that was me projecting so much. But I can't see it a mile away, folks. I can see it a mile away. But, and I'm not going to name names. I honestly can't even think of someone. I mean, everyone. Can I just say everyone has one? I think that anyway. But I'm not going to get into specifics, and I don't want to like go off about it. And then this feels very like self-serving anyway. But I'm just kind of just dealing with those feelings, and I'm struggling with saying things about my. I'm having a little struggle here on the show today, and in general in life of the ways I expose myself and the things that I talk about on this show or on stage, or, it's interesting because, and I've talked about this before, so many things that I admit on here and things that I cop to and words that I use, remember when I did the whole thing about someone writing about me that I was spiraling, and I go, I gave you that word. I gave you all the evidence that you cited, that you acted like some kind of like sleuth that you noticed. People are still doing this, where I read these things of Nikki's on drugs. What's going on with her? She's changed. I've been a fan since this long, and now she acts this way. And she said she was on ADD meds, and I'm thinking that someone needs to intervene and take those away from her. And I think I've given you all of that. I think anything that you may have said about me in these things, and boy, you said a lot. Like there's a lot, I thought I was avoiding comments that you guys, not you particular, like there's so many of you. I want to say shout out to everyone in these kind of places that I think that there are chances I'll see it, or maybe you don't. Maybe you're openly defending me, thinking that I won't see it. Regardless, like I did see a lot of people come to my defense with people that were trying to, just if you want to walk away from being a fan of me and you aren't really concerned about me and you're not like actually, I don't know what people want from writing this stuff, is what I'm saying. Like, I understand commenting about, oh, we're worried about her, but like, is it because you think it's going to get to me and that's your way of telling me you're worried? Because it did get to me, and it, if anything, it made me so much worse than I was feeling before. So I don't know what these people's mission are. I think their lives are probably unhappy, because I know that when I like to criticize and really dig into someone that I don't know, and even someone I do know, that it's generally because I'm struggling inside about something. So maybe before you go onto a message board or tweet a mean thing, like do a journal entry about why you want to do it before. Like that's what I do sometimes when, with my food addiction stuff. Like for me, I used to like binge to the point where I'd make myself sick, and now I have like little roadblocks in place so that doesn't happen. So let's say yesterday, in fact, I was feeling a lot of feelings even before, honestly, the stuff I read yesterday made me angry. I was literate. And I've never felt that way of like, I wish I couldn't read. I wish that I could blind. I wanted to be like, who's King Lear, and stab my eyes out because of the stuff I read about myself that was like truly, like the worst things you think about yourself. Like, people have written like, and written well, by the way. I have very articulate, educated ex-fans. But, just put a thing in place where you go, you stop yourself. So yesterday I was like really wanting to binge because I was feeling a lot of feelings and I was nervous about something. And I wanted I think I was like on a third bowl of oatmeal or something like that. And before I reached for the fourth, because I'm scraping the bottom of the third, we've all been there where we're just like, I can't get enough of this thing. I want more. And you like already have it in your mind that you're going to reach for the box of cereal, whatever is the thing that you're going to like, let's just finish it off. I go, let me just pause and call a friend and like talk about my feelings. And then when I'm done with that call, if I still am hungry for that fourth bowl of oatmeal, you can have it. But let's just like have a little bit of a pause. So maybe before you write these things, take a pause. But to everyone who went in there and actually like really beautifully came to my defense, and you weren't even mean to the people, you were like understanding of what they said, and like then you just it felt really loving. And I called a friend about it, and they were like, focus on the good, focus on the people that love you, and don't focus on the hate. And I go, it's really hard when the hate isn't just like one little tweet, but a 1,200 word essay and, accusing me of all the things that I fear about myself and all of those things. And I honestly, part of me was like, I just want to stop doing that. I went through all those range of emotions of like, I want to quit. Like, I don't need this. Like I initially, obviously I don't even want to say the things I'm about to say now. I'm like, I'm kind of tiptoeing through this because I don't want to give people more, ammunition to use it against me. It honestly feels like some of the things I say on this podcast are like, I'm being so intimate that it's like when someone you love uses a thing that you told them really vulnerably when it was a good moment, and then they use that back and they go, well, maybe, they throw it in your face in an angry moment, and you go, whoa, oh my God, like I don't trust you anymore. So that's kind of how I feel. But I will say that I really appreciate the people who love me. I hear the people who hate me, unfortunately. I did read it, and it was terrible. And I'm not taking my ADD meds today because I'm just, maybe they're right. But I do want to say, like, I had suicidal thoughts like plaguing me last summer. You can go back and listen to You Up episodes of my podcast and hear how depressed I was last summer, and getting diagnosed with ADHD and getting medicated for that in a really cautious way and being so overly like, are you sure that I need these? I want you to know that I'm not tricking you into giving me these. Like, I'm not trying to finagle ADD meds. I had so much shame about it. And the doctor's like, you didn't trick me. I'm a doctor. And like, you went and got a test. You didn't just go to the doctor and say like, hey, I have ADD. Like, I brought in documents that were done from me doing rigorous hours-long tests to test my attention and stuff. So I didn't take them today because you won. You won, trolls, or people that have faux concern for me. You got me to deviate from a professional doctor's plan for me and give it a whirl and see if you're right. Like, maybe I don't need to be on that stuff. And but I do want to say that those are the only things that have worked to not make me have suicidal thoughts. So I'm not going to say like, look what you made me do or anything like that. I'm just saying like, it's hard for me. It made me cry last night because I'm like, I've never felt better and like more healthy, and I haven't been plagued by those thoughts ever since I started taking those meds. Yet I'm reading, I'm not joking, chapters of different people writing in saying that they think I'm on drugs and like that it's turned me into a tangential, rambling, narcissistic moron, essentially. And not moron, no one said that. That's my own wording. But, that's a really tough place to be, because if it were about me using a drug that I thought I was already shameful about and like, I would go, okay, this is the bottom I need to like quit. But it's something that was prescribed to make me feel better. So it's like really, it's hard. And I don't mean to get like emotional. I wanted this to be light and I'm just having a lot of feelings today, but I promise you that I did go to bed feeling really good and like focused on the love. And I really appreciate everyone who sent that love. And like, it really, I'm so sorry. I'm crying. I'm so embarrassed. It's so stupid. I did not even want to talk about this, but when you do a podcast every day, which, was my own doing, and I asked for this because I think I'm special enough to talk into a microphone and have you guys listen every day. And so I brought this on myself. Sometimes things come up like this, and sorry to be crying. I'm probably about to start my period, even though I get it every 2 fucking weeks now. So it's due in like now. So it's probably that. But also, I hate to blame my period, because what your period does is just like kind of put down your defenses. Like, the feelings are real, but you just don't have as many defenses. And so I'm not so much of a clenched fist today as like an open palm that's slapping me in the face. But thank you to everyone who still enjoys me and believes in me and understands I'm flawed and I'm not always going to get it right. And I'm going to sometimes say things I regret. And please, 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 I want to keep on sharing and being as vulnerable with you as possible. Please don't use it against me. And please just take a breather before you write something mean about me. And just know that like, you could be putting something out there that really makes someone stay up till 5 a.m. and then forget their coffee at Starbucks the next day and have to delay the podcast even more. Let's get Andrew in here. Andrew!
Okay, audience, do you love trivia? Do you love the hit podcast, Stuff You Should Know? Then you'll love the new Trivial Pursuit game, Stuff You Should Know Edition. With 600 questions from the hugely popular Stuff You Should Know podcast, this game is packed with weird and unbelievable trivia inspired by topics on the show. You'll be challenged by brain-busting questions in 6 fascinating categories, including myths, legends, and conspiracies. And SYSK selects a mix of topics handpicked by podcast hosts Josh and Chuck. It's perfect for 3 to 6 players and adults from ages 16 to 116. If you love the Stuff You Should Know podcast, or you're just curious about the world, grab your copy of the Trivial Pursuit game, Stuff You Should Know Edition today, wherever you get your favorite board games.
At iHeartRadio, we bring you the best podcasts, from The Ron Burgundy Show to The Breakfast Club to Stuff You Should Know. Really, all of today's biggest names. But each of these shows started with an idea, and now we want yours. We're looking to you for the next great podcast. Simply go to nextgreatpodcast.com to get the details and submit your pitch. We'll select up to 10 semifinalists and give them $1,000 to produce a pilot. Then, listeners from across the world will vote on their favorite to decide the next great podcast. Enter today at nextgreatpodcast.com. That's nextgreatpodcast.com. Why shouldn't the next great podcast come from you?
The stories that are affecting the Black community are being covered on the Black Information Network. Not a show or a podcast, BIN is a 24/7 news network covering stories from a Black perspective. Listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app and get news for and by the Black community. Anywhere, anytime. Keeping you informed, keeping you engaged. The Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
I want to get back to being in my community group.
I want to continue having a soccer season.
So I can throw parties again.
So I can go to her parties.
It'd really be nice to dine in instead of getting delivery for a change.
So I can feel safe and protected for myself and my students.
We each have our own reason for why we're getting vaccinated against COVID-19. What will yours be? Visit getvaccineanswers.org for information on the COVID-19 vaccines. It's up to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Andrew.
Hey.
Hey, man in white. I like your outfit.
Oh, thanks. It's very sporty. Sporty spice.
Yeah, it looks cool. You're in, where are you again? Connecticut?
I have no idea. Yeah, I'm in Greenwich, Connecticut. First time.
I have no idea.
First time bringing a girl home to meet the nephews. Yeah.
Oh, to the nephews.
And I
like that the nephews are like, so what are your intentions with our uncle? And they're like 3 and like 5.
Honestly, these kids are so much smarter than I was at their age. I mean, it's wild. I don't know why. Actually, Sid was chewing on things that he shouldn't have. But
he's right where you are.
Yeah, he was where I was at 14, and he's 2.
I mean, I think you were chewing on something that, like, you chew on plastic stuff, so maybe, like,
I chew
he's
on my
actually
own
very
skin.
advanced in his Colin genetic predisposition to chew things. He's skipped a couple grade levels there.
Yeah.
He's up to
prodigy.
Starbucks stoppers, and you started on those when in 8th grade.
Honestly, I'm jealous because he has a space in between every tooth.
Wait, you like those spaces so you can put things in them? You like those?
Oh, you can put other teeth in there.
Oh my god! Wait, so how did they receive your lady?
I mean, it hasn't been fully received. We literally just got here, but
really? Like you left at like 5 a.m.
Yeah, I left really early. 6 a.m. flight. So I got here like an hour ago.
Oh my god! Did you have a connection?
No connection
with Brenna. When you guys saw each other.
We'll see. She play by ear. We got a room though. I got a bed. It's the first time I've ever gotten a bed.
It's like your joke.
I know. It really is.
The couples always get the rooms, and you get the shed.
Yeah, I honestly feel like couples. Have you ever been on a trip and you've been a single person and the couple, you don't even know them? They're not even family, and they get the bed just because there's 2 of them, and no one knows them.
I don't know that I've ever been in
that situation,
like on a family trip. Yeah, I don't know. No,
but you've been a single person.
I think you're right. I would assume that they're not going to put couples out because in the canoe or like on an air mattress because they might be banging. You know.
I know, but it's like,
where do you usually stay in Connecticut? Don't you have like 8 bedrooms there?
It's their rental house, so it's not.
Oh.
It's only 4 bedrooms, and 2 of them are made into other things. Oh, no. It's the other rooms.
So where do you usually sleep when you're there, when you're a single man?
They usually put me under the water in the pool without a scuba gear and just see if I could drown each night. But no, usually I'm on an air mattress.
In the pool?
In the pool.
So who is now relegated to the air mattress instead of you? What single piece of shit is on that thing now?
That's a good question. I mean,
Like, who's not getting a room because you have the room?
Probably the lawn man. No, the dog's always had a bed. I remember my brother one time asked me if I was sleeping on his bed while they were gone, and he thought I was too dirty for the bed, and the dog slept on the bed every night.
Wow.
And this dog had a wetter mouth than me.
I mean, probably because it was brushing his teeth a little bit more.
Well,
he was foaming at the mouth because he had some Colgate in there, not because of rabies. If you ever get bit by a rabid raccoon and start foaming at the mouth, I'm gonna be like, Andrew, are you brushing your teeth or are you going to die? Do you know that if you get rabies, you 100%, if you get bit by a rabid animal, there's no cure, you just die? Did you know that?
Dude, I'll give rabies to the rabid dog. Whatever I have will kill the dog more, probably.
That's a true story, though. Like, if you get bit by a rabid animal and get rabies, there's no cure for it, and you 100% of the time will die. It's like
there's got to be a cure for rabies. I learned it from a This
American Life episode. What?
There's no vaccine for rabies. You just you're done.
You're done. I learned that from a This American Life episode, and maybe I have to fact check that, but I would almost bet your life on it.
First of all, that's nothing. But wait, I'm confused because plenty of people have had to been. Noah, can we look this up? I can't believe this.
I want to look it up.
Nikki's right. It's very seldom that someone survives from it.
I think it's almost zero chance. Rabies morbidity rate is what I'm typing in, and it says the mortality rate from rabies is estimated at, that's just people like how many? 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000. What is the morbidity? Wait, no, that's not it. Yeah, what did you find, Noah?
Once a rabies infection is established, there's no effective treatment. Though a small number of people have survived rabies, the disease usually causes death. For that reason, if you think you've gotten exposed to rabies, you must get a series of shots to prevent the infection from taking hold.
Oh, so once the infection takes hold, you're gone.
Oh my God.
But you have a little bit of a window before. Yeah, I
I
thought it was just like you get a shot and you're good.
Yeah, I literally thought you just put some freaking rubbing alcohol
on it.
Yeah, put some of that scope that I should put in my mouth on it.
No, you should start doing your makeup the way you want it for your open casket. That's what you should do. You have a small window to get your. You should call your lawyer and get your, will taken care of.
I'll tell you though, for like a minute there, you look pretty cool as a rabid human. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it's got to be pretty cool for about 10 minutes. But yeah.
I mean, I wonder if you, if you're a rabid human, if you try to bite people, that's how rabies spreads, is it makes animals, crazy so that it will, spread it. You know what I mean? So I wonder if you, go on all fours and are, biting people and, I don't know.
It's so weird. Something that doesn't kill a dog that only lives 10% of our lives kills us. It's just weird. Diseases are weird, man.
I think it kills a dog, too, babe.
Oh.
I think it's the same rule. But listen, what doesn't kill you makes you foam at the mouth, and then
have you ever seen a casket, an open casket?
Oh, dude, yes. Have you?
Oh, yeah, it's intense.
Yeah, it's so weird. They look like Madame Tussauds.
Oh my God, I saw
and
my grandpa Marvin. And
you just think they're gonna sit up and open their eyes and then be like, "Gotcha."
Mine did.
What?
Yeah, he came alive. He goes, "Don't touch your trust fund until you're 30." And I was like, "No, I'll spend it all at 22, Grandpa."
On bottle service.
Yeah, and strippers.
Strippers who I think might like me more than they do. Did you ever get strippered and think a stripper was into you and more than she usually would be? You had a connection with her.
Yes.
Guys, that happens all the time.
Every time I went to a strip club. Every time.
I
thought the bouncer wanted to marry me.
Well, I do think that does happen sometimes. Strippers aren't these cold, just money grubbing. There's no connection that they have with their clientele. Waitresses fall in love with their, people dining at restaurants sometimes. There's got to be people that do actually get through and actually have, a real connection with a stripper.
I went on a date with a stripper when I got arrested for speeding on a jet ski.
And you met her at a strip club?
Yeah, I met her at a strip club. I got her number. I took her out the next week. I was dropping her off.
And she didn't speak English, right?
No English. None. Nunca. Never.
How did you ask her out then?
I said, yo vas, tu vas, enseñar, maybe? I don't know. No, I probably asked her. Yeah. I go, dinner, and she goes, she knew like very little English.
Yeah. And so
enough
did you.
Yes. So we met in the middle of her knowing 5 words and me knowing 10. We were both biting things most of the night because of rabies. So
glad you survived. I'm glad you the small percentage.
I took her out to dinner, and we had a nice, nodding to each other. We were both enjoying ourselves, and I was dropping her. I was dropping her off, and she kept going. I'm
just a guy standing in front of a stripper, asking her to get a Spanish to English dictionary,
asking her,
I can ask you to suck my dick later.
Mama la pinga.
Understand it.
Mama la pinga means suck my dick in Spanish.
Really?
Yeah. Por favor.
Oh my God! Why do you know that?
Anyhow. So is
Brenna in the room?
No.
Oh, okay.
She's in the back. She's in the cage. Wait, what was I saying? Oh, so when I was dropping off, she kept going, "You're so nice. You're so nice." That's all she could say. You're so nice. And the cop rolled up because we were in a shitty party area, and he freaking flashed his lights, and he goes, "Step out of the car." And she looks at me like I'm not nice, and I freaking tell the cop. The cop goes, "You have a warrant out for your arrest for speeding on a jet ski in a Manatee zone." And he goes, "You have a warrant. You got to go to jail."
I'm so glad she didn't know English at that point.
Well, that's the thing. I told him
that's a combination of words that you wouldn't find in an English textbook.
Yeah, those aren't the first
Andrew
words you're
got
learning.
arrested for speeding in a Manatee zone. He has a brother named James. He likes to skateboard. Okay, so she goes, "You're so nice." And did she tell the cop that? And did he go, "You know what? He is, ma'am." Except to animals.
So the cop's name was like Fernando or something. So I guess I racially profiled him and thought he spoke Spanish, which I was right. But whatever he told her, she threw the car keys and ran away because I think she was afraid of getting deported because she's from Colombia.
Oh.
And it's either that or she really liked manatees and was upset about my behavior.
Yeah, that would have been me. I would have been like, you sped in a manatee zone. You know that you're Is there a blade on a jet ski though?
That's the thing.
I guess you could just ram into it.
There's no propeller.
But they're so slow that they might not get out of the way soon enough, and you're like the bottom of your boat could just hit them.
Which you can get a pretty cool jump off of there for sure. Yeah, and so I go to jail. The guy took me to jail, and I'm talking to the cop, and he's apologizing to me. I swear to God, he's like, "I'm sorry, you got to go to jail for this. It was an $80 fine."
He knew you were gonna get your pinka.
Yeah, my pinka aguad, and and by her punta. So
water.
So I end up going to jail, and I'm in jail with 2 fucking like badass dudes, and they're talking about why they're in there, and I told them I was in there for speeding on a jet ski, and I literally thought they were gonna like beat the shit out of me, and then the guy just asked me if it was a Yamaha or a Kawasaki, and I was like,
what was it?
It was a Yamaha, and he's like, yeah, that's a good ski, man, and I knew we bonded over. Not, Kawasaki would have maybe been too exotic or too foreign for him. I don't know. And then I got out of jail and I went back to the strip club to apologize and for her to take me back. I swear. She wanted nothing to do with She wanted nothing to do with me.
Did she pull a Sephora and act like you didn't that you were invisible, or that she was invisible?
Kinda, because she was dancing, and I went up there with dollars so she would talk to me.
Did you say you donated to Greenpeace in her honor? I mean, maybe she really was an animal rights activist, but I'm guessing, she didn't understand what you were being pulled over for, and I mean, she obviously was with you because you're so nice, and then obviously if the cops are arresting you, you're not so nice. And I'm not saying that as I'm not trying to do an impression of someone who is an immigrant I'm just saying that's, how people that don't speak language as their first language talk sometimes. That wasn't me being racist. I hope that you don't interpret it that way.
No
Please
problem.
Don't cancel me. All right, let's get to the news.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
Oh, man. I hope you're having all the swells.
Yeah, happy Tuesday, everyone.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank God it's Wednesday. I hope you're having all the swells, having a great time out there. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. First story. A TikTok doctor warns not to pee in the shower because you're creating an association in the brain between the sound of running water and having to pee, and it could possibly cause leak issues.
This guy ain't wrong. I don't think it's maybe the feeling of being bathed in warm water makes me now have to pee. And sometimes I would get into a shower with a guy, and I would it's one of the first things I want to do is pee in the shower. It's like the first thing I do when I get in the shower if I have to pee. Like I pee in the shower probably every time. The way that you brush your teeth every time you're in the shower?
Not every time.
Well, that concerns me because before you told us it's the only time you brush your teeth.
No, I know, but now I realize.
So I'm really hoping that every time you brush your teeth in the shower at least.
Dude, have you ever used my shower? Did I brush with your piss?
I pee in the shower every single time. And now it's actually good because my water will run, like the spray tan will usually come off so the water already looks like it has piss in it. So if I happen to be in there with a guy, I can just say that the water is my spray tan and not my piss, but it is my piss. But there's been times where I had to stop my pee stream when I was intimately in the shower with a person because, even recently I was showering off after sex or hook up or something. And he was in the bathroom and I was like, God, I need him to leave so I can pee in the shower because he might pull back the curtain and look and then I'm peeing. No one wants to see a girl pissing
talking about your
pussy?
Huh? No, pull back the curtain. But the
I mean, you would have seen that too. Pull back all the curtains.
Curtains.
The shower curtain, and then there's a glass door actually on my pussy. I don't have a curtain there.
You really?
You think I've got a double plastic down there?
With just the map of
Beyond?
The map of the MTA subway.
Oh yeah, I used to have a map of the world in my old. It was for my geography lesson because I don't know anything about geography. Andrew, though, wait a second. So, is it I love pee? Noah, do you pee in the shower?
I pee in the shower, by the way, all the time.
I think it's different for women, and I don't mean to take this from you. I'm glad that you do too, Andrew. But women never get a chance to pee standing up, and there's something about it It's really interesting because if you have enough of a stream going and it's urgent enough, you can pee in a way that it's not going to dribble down your legs like it usually does when you pee on a camping trip or something. You know what I'm saying, Noah? There's sometimes I go, I could just pee standing up and probably I would maybe miss the bowl most of the time, but there's sometimes I'm like, oh my God, it would feel free to do this. I used to have a joke that I was at a concert. Or I was at a music festival and I was so jealous of guys that just got to I had to wait in line for the porta potty when I had to go to the bathroom and guys could just walk off into the wooded area and just go and it's so much easier and it's I had to wait in line and touch this dirty door and so one time I was just I'm gonna just go standing up and it was awful because I got poop all down my leg. A little switcheroony at the end there. So wait a second. Wait, would it be disturbing if you caught Brenna peeing standing up? Would that would be? I think some guys are
turn
into
me on.
Really?
I think it would turn me on. I did pee in the shower with an ex before, and I got caught because it smelled.
Oh, right.
That's the problem. If it's a non-smelling piss, I don't think anyone cares. But if you eat vitamins, it really glows. So that that could get you in trouble.
B12 will really fuck up your piss and give it away. You're I'm actually jaundiced, and I'm doing this new spray jaundice.
Well, the problem is I piss in the bathtub, and then it turns purple.
Did I ever tell you about the time I was at The View? I think I've told this story before.
The show The View?
Yeah.
No?
I was on The View. I got to be on The View for the first time in my life.
I didn't know this.
You didn't know it? Noah, I think maybe this was before you as well. I got to be on The View, and I was a real ledge head on The View. I wanted a good one. You know what I'm saying? So I was sitting on the edge of the table, wanted a good view.
Oh yeah, way up there.
Cool joke.
Look down.
So I was. What'd you just say?
Look down. It's high. It's high up there.
So, well, Barbara wants to just say, take a little time to enjoy the view. Like that used to be the thing that would go into it. But and I was doing a Sherry O'Terry impression of Barbara impression. But I got invited to do The View, which they would always bring in like guest comedians. A lot of my friends had done it, and I was like, oh, I'm so excited. On my episode, it was Rosie O'Donnell. That's when she was on still. It was, God, she's a pundit. No, Hasselbeck wasn't there. And Whoopi would have been there, but she was just like not in that day. I think not even Joy Behar was there. It was Nicole something. Nicole, she's a news anchor. She was on The View regularly. Nicole Wilson or something. She's like kind of like moderate news anchor. She does like both sides. She's really smart, really cool. Love her. And then one other person who I forget. And then, no, just look up Nikki Glaser, The View, and see who was on the table with me that day. And then, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to tell this story because I don't want to drum up any like controversy. But Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child was also there. And before the show, we were all, you go and you get hair and makeup, and then you go in a room with all the girls from The View and all the producers, and you sit and you like, people are eating breakfast, and like you talk about the hot topics of the day, and like what the rundown of the show. It's really fun, actually. Like everyone's just kind of like joking around, and you know, Rosie O'Donnell is someone that I like loved, worshipped growing up. Like the Rosie O'Donnell show was so fun. It like, I just loved that show. It was the first time I was like in love with like an adult kind of show, or at least at that time it was like something moms watched, and I was like a kid that just like couldn't get enough of that show, and the koosh balls that she would throw out, and the crush she had on Tom Cruise that was really kind of not real. We come to find out this is before she came out. So I'm backstage, and Rosie O'Donnell is like, we're hitting it off, and she's showing me, and Michelle Williams is just kind of cold to me, and that's like, she doesn't need to be nice to me. She's maybe doing her own thing. I'm not even trying to get her to like me or whatever. And like, it's whatever. And I'm a Destiny's Child fan. Like, I was like, oh my God, Michelle Williams. Even though in the song Survivor, she has one of the weirdest solos ever that really takes you out of the song. But I'm only saying that because of what happened between her and I. So I'm backstage. Rosie O'Donnell's showing me these, like, she's like, oh, I gave the kids a bath last night, her kids, and she's showing me that these dyes that you can throw in the bath that, like, turn the bath water purple or blue and, like, make bath time fun. And she's like, isn't that fun? And I go, oh, my gosh, we had that when I was a kid, except, like, mine was just, like yellow every time. And it was just, honestly, I just peed in the bath. I was just making a joke, right?
Yeah.
Which is funny, I guess. Like,
no, it's funny. It's funny.
I wasn't like trying out material for the show. There was no intent just except to make people like laugh in the room. And Michelle Williams looks up and goes, "Ew." Ugh. And then shakes her head and looks back down at her stuff. Makes it so weird. Like, takes me literally, I guess. And I was like, "Oh, I'm just joking." Doesn't look up and go, "Oh, okay," you know, just says,
she
"Ew."
took the piss out of it.
Disgusted face. Yeah. Looks back down at her notes and like, I'm dead to her. Like I'm enemy number one to her after this. And I'm just like, oh, that was uncomfortable. And I'm like a guest on the show. She's been there a ton. Like, you know, it was just unfriendly. And I was just like, maybe that really triggered her in a way. I don't know. So then we go out, and this is the show that was it was the day after the Grammys, probably 2014 Grammys. And at the Grammys, Prince came out. Unexpectedly did a surprise thing. We were talking about, oh my God, Prince came out and surprised everyone. And I was like, you know what's really cool about that? The way the celebrities in the audience reacted to Prince coming out. They looked like, you know, you genuinely saw these like celebrities that are usually so jaded and like, I'm so cool. They were freaking out. It was really cool to see, you know, I don't know who I referenced, who's like it was cool to see Lady Gaga look like a Backstreet Boy fan, like from like you know, a Beatles mania. It was cool to see. I think I compared a celebrity to a Backstreet Boys fan from 1998. One of these girls that are crying in the front row, like being like AJ. Well, no one cried about AJ, but
they cried for other reasons.
Yeah. So all I said was it was cool to see celebrities looking like Backstreet, like freaking out and looking like Backstreet Boy fans. And Michelle Williams go, well, what would you have done? And I was like, Oh no, I'm saying it was cool, and she was like, if you were one of them, how would you have reacted? Are you like almost
Wait,
mad at
what?
me? Like, it was so wild. It made me. It was like, and I was like trying to. I wasn't like combative with her. I was just like, oh no, I was just joking. Like I was just saying, like, no,
Did she not understand
you know what I said?
sarcasm?
I would have done the same thing. No, she. It wasn't even sarcasm. What I was saying, I was being sincere. Like, it was cool to see them actually have a real human reaction and not be too cool for school. And she goes, well, what would you have done? How would you have reacted? And I was like, oh my God, I would have done the same thing, which is actually not true because I'm not a Prince fan and I don't really care. But I was just, like if someone came out impressive, of course I would act that way. I'm like a huge fan of celebrities. And it was so crazy. It like made me just like shut down. I was just like, okay. And then later on in the show, I said another thing that made everyone feel that no one laughed except Rosie O'Donnell laughed so hard next to me. And she goes, I'm sorry, that was fucking funny. And she said she goes, oh my God. She covered it up. She goes, I have never once cussed on TV in my life. I can't believe I just did that. And it was because she came to my defense about a joke that everyone else goes, oh, and it wasn't.
Do you remember what it was? Do you remember?
I don't even remember. It was just one of my like styles of jokes that wasn't. It was maybe like the pee joke, like nothing like terrible, but maybe a little bizarre. But I was very after that Michelle shut down. I was towing the line there. But after that, I have thought Michelle Williams is not cool. I thought she was mean. I don't know what she was going through that day, and I want to do the same thing that Jocko Willink said the other day, and said like, I can't assume her life to react that way to me. Her life must have been harder than mine that day, and probably prior to mine. And like, I don't know what it's like to be the least talented member of a band.
Well, in fairness, the fourth one got kicked out, so she made.
That's true. Okay, the second least talented.
Yeah, second least talented. Yeah.
And to, ruin and have a really weird moment in the song Survivor where she goes, from happiness, if I surround myself with positive things, I'll gain prosperity. It's the weirdest, it's the worst thing I've ever, like, I've always thought that was a really bad part of that song. She goes, I'll gain prosperity. Like, could you have please given that to Beyonce? It really, Luigi just looked up, and that is a really good impression, by the way.
It sounds like that should be at like the Declaration of Independence, like the prosperity.
Wait, one more time. That ain't it. And you know what? I'm not as good of a singer as her. I never will be. I would probably murder Luigi to even have a tenth of her singing talent, but that wasn't it. Let's get to the next story.
Did the line annoy you before the interview, or did it annoy you more after? Like,
it always annoyed me, but now I'm going public about it.
I appreciate that.
And you know what? It didn't annoy me. It used to actually make me happy because I go, maybe I could be in Destiny's Child. If that made it in, maybe I could do it. But again, I don't mean to say, like, Michelle Williams might be a lovely person just of having a rough day, and I'm being petty now about it. But and that song is a #1 Billboard hit, and maybe it is because of that and not despite it. But I would think it was the latter.
Man, that's a roller coaster of a sentence. Okay, a woman sues Starbucks.
On that roller coaster, I just got Fabio'd and hit with a pigeon in the head, too. So in the end, I look like the one with pigeon blood on my face.
Yeah, but for a while, you were having a great time up there.
Oh, yeah. The picture of me right before that, I was like, wow! Really fun.
A woman sues Starbucks after getting first and second degree burns when she spilled coffee on herself as she was returning the wrong order. So she got the wrong order, tried to give it back. It spilled all over her lap.
That might have been my order because I always order extra hot.
That is true. Like,
that bitch
if you get extra hot and it burns you, that's on you.
Literally.
A lot. Yeah. I mean, we all remember the lady from McDonald's. She got a couple million. This lady's going for 75, less than 75,000.
Do you know the true story behind the McDonald's one?
Yeah, I remember you told me it. I mean, you could recount it better than me guessing, but
yeah, it was like this whole phenomenon in the 90s of like, oh, this woman sued McDonald's because she got burnt by her hot coffee. Wah, wah. And what they didn't tell you in a documentary later, like brought to light, was this was like this is an elderly woman who had to have multiple skin grafts and whose skin was melting off of her body because of not second degree burns, but I think like the worst degree burn. And the coffee was in a lid that wasn't secure, and the coffee was so hot that it was like nearly boiling. So she was 100% in the right, and every monologue joke and late night, like it created this whole thing of like, she was the poster child of just the flippantly litigious person that like slips intentionally and then like asks for $1 million. She became like, oh, you got burned and then you got $1 million, like fucking it's your fault. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
This poor woman had
it's like the boy that
disabled
cried wolf.
now because of it.
The boy that cried wolf actually got his leg bit off by the wolf, and no one is like,
But this woman didn't do it. Yes, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the boy who cried wolf is the one he kept crying wolf, and then there was no wolf. And then when he did cry wolf, she didn't cry. I'm burnt. My skin's falling off a bunch of times, and then
we don't know.
But yes, you're right. She still does. She still like we should still feel sad for her. I would say more so than the wolf boy. Yeah. This. You know,
I like
wonder,
a lady that like kept pouring coffee on herself. She's like, not hot enough. Not hot. Like
yeah. Well, I do think that I would, now that I know that about that McDonald's story, I'm a little bit more apprehensive about judging this woman and thinking that she's just being kind of overreactive. But boy, it's a part of the story that doesn't really look good in her favor, is her taking the wrong drink, just being one of those people that just like, this is mine, and then being like, I did, like, it, you know, you just think of her as like a Karen.
She was in the drive-through though, it sounds like.
Oh, so they gave her the wrong order. Oh man, I mean, spilling hot coffee on your lap and like getting burned and first and second degree burn. I mean, that sucks, and I'm really sorry for her.
Dude,
but she'll gain prosperity.
My buddy Glenn, I think you've met Glenn. We got hot sake shots, and the waiter dropped the sake all over Glenn's back. We were all dying laughing, but it was just like, and you know when people go sake bomb. You know, Glenn yelled sake, but it was because it was burning his skin.
You guys are the cruelest friends, just laughing at each other's misfortunes.
Oh, fuck. We were mad. Yeah, that was like $60 sake. It was expensive.
Oh, my God.
All right, next story. Tim Cook of Apple, who wakes up at 4 a.m. daily, explains why early risers are more productive. They can control the morning better than the evening and through the day. Things happen through the day that blow off you. He has 4 kids, by the way. So it's like, his whole thing is like you could have the whole morning to yourself.
Yeah, because the kids wake up at probably 6, 7, and so you get 2 hours without them. Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I just think, you know, you could wake up later if you don't ruin your life with kids and a wife.
I know we were talking about that the other night of like how much we get to do because we don't have kids. Like you were talking about, we were watching White Lotus, and what's his name in the show? This isn't a spoiler, but he's like worried about having ball cancer. And you were like, God, imagine like being worried that you might have a terminal illness while also having to like be a dad and like be upbeat for your kids. And I'm like, that's parenthood, is like dealing with your adult shit that you can't put on your kids and having to like be present with them while also dealing with bills and that's why I don't really want to sign up for it, because I need mommy needs to cry and be depressed sometimes and like nap. And I mean, the other day on a subreddit there was like, it was like an Ask Women. It was like, why don't you want kids? And I just wrote, I value sleep too much. And like and I know that you only sacrifice sleep for like the first 4 years or whatever, like like that's the worst time, I guess, when you're raising kids where you don't get a lot of sleep. But I would venture to guess those, 4 years might age you like a president and really like ruin
prosperity.
I want to have a good prosperity.
I think it'd be so. I feel like if we had kids, not me and you, but if we had kids, when they were like 8 or 9, we'd be like, all right, it's time to take care of us. Like I would be like, it's your turn. It's like, I'm 11.
A lot of kids do that. Read the book Running on Empty, and you will see, if you relate to any of this, of a parent who you go, wow, no, they didn't hide that stuff from me. Maybe the book Running on Empty will help you understand your childhood.
Every day my dad told me he had ball cancer.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, the parents in White Lotus are a whole other issue. I mean, that show is in and of itself. Let's take a quick break and come back with our weekly sports moment.
I'm Robert Evans, and does it seem like everything's kind of falling apart? That's because it is. First off, climate change is hitting a lot harder than our most optimistic predictions had anticipated, and that's leading to infrastructure falling apart. It's leading to food and everything becoming more expensive. It's just going to cause a lot of continued problems, and weird problems, like, remember when toilet paper wasn't available? That kind of weird. It's going to keep happening, and we're also going to continue our lurch into authoritarianism, and that can be kind of scary. But the good news is that when things start to fall apart, we all have an opportunity to replace them with something better, to build a new world from the ashes of the old. On my new show, It Could Happen Here, Monday through Friday, we'll chronicle the collapse, yes, but we're also going to talk to visionaries and thinkers who have ideas about what could replace it, and who are going out there in the world right now to try to build something better. So, listen to It Could Happen Here on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
For decades, this area has been a hotbed for paranormal sightings.
This is a strange place, this part of the country.
Ann, where are you? Something about it just doesn't feel right.
Dad? Strange things were happening back then, and strange things are happening again now.
I think I found something. This otherworldly corner of southeastern Massachusetts, the Bridgewater Triangle.
iHeartRadio and Grim and Mild presents Bridgewater, starring Misha Collins, Melissa Ponzio, and Nathan Fillion. Created by Aaron Mahnke and written by Lauren Shippen. Listen to Bridgewater now on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts, and learn more at grimandmild.com/Bridgewater.
All right, we're back. It's time for the weekly sports moment. Here's Andrew's weekly sports moment.
I love that so much.
Me too.
Girlfriend of U.S. Paralympian born without legs, who's been accused of using him for TikTok fame, admits he didn't think she was genuine when she took an interest because people aren't nice to him. They're still dating, but a few years ago she reached out to him. He's won like 2 gold medals, but he has no legs. And they just assume that she's, taking advantage of him because he's legless.
If he won gold medals with legs, would people assume that she was like into him only for his gold medals? Maybe she's into him for his titaniums too.
Yeah, I mean, look.
There's been times I've seen guys with no legs or like one of those blade legs, and I'm like, that's so hot that they are so confident and able to overcome that thing. That I don't mind a guy, guys with disabilities sometimes are hot because it speaks to their character that they've been through something hard, and I'm kind of like, I want that. Not for clout, but I would like to have that. I would like to push that wheelchair around because I'd be proud of my disabled boyfriend who's cool and I don't know, been through tough shit. So is that bad to be attracted to someone because of their thing?
No, it's like being attractive to someone with big ears or whatever. We just put it.
No one feels that way. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I wouldn't be caught dead unless they had 3 gold medals for hearing.
Yeah.
No, I think you could probably screw anything on a leg.
The Olympics would be so funny, where they have people in a stadium like a track and field stadium, but it's people stand far away and just whisper things, and if you can hear what they heard, they take another step back until they can't hear, and then you figure out who has the best hearing. That would be dope, dude. I'd watch that.
Or the visuals like you do at the DMV.
Yeah, you would be so good. When we were golfing the other night, you could see balls go that I couldn't see. And maybe you have more of an eye for it because you're used to hitting balls, so you know how to follow it and look. But you have eagle eyes.
I do have eagle eyes.
You look like you have eyes of an eagle.
Yes, I have very eagle.
They're black and small and darty and
How
cold.
dare you? They're hazel. It's the one good thing about me. My hazel eyes are my no legs. His no legs.
Behind these hazel eyes, here he is once again. Okay, so yeah, this is. I guess I care. I don't care. I mean, I do care. I just feel I'm kind of. I bet this girl. I bet it's just. I think that this is laced in misogyny of this girl must be using this guy because she actually posts about his affliction and talks about it. And so, and I bet if it were the other way around, people would be like, he's such a good boyfriend. And because it's her and people are jealous because they want to fuck this like legless Joe.
Do you think there's I mean, if you have no legs, your dick looks like it hangs low compared to having legs. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's interesting. Like, you invested so much in a penis pump in college, and you maybe tried those Extends pills.
I could have just cut my legs off, yeah.
Yeah, we could have just gotten you, like, you could have just gone swimming in a Manatee zone and waited for someone to come by in a speedboat. He's so nice. Okay, let's get to our weekly segment, Fanthrax.
I'm just picturing a manatee driving that boat.
That's fun.
Fanthrax.
Thank you, Avi Calloway, for that soundbite. Let's get to our fan mail.
All right. Do you want a written message or a voicemail first?
Let's do voice.
Okay, so this one comes from Justine.
I know, Druki. It's Justine in Michigan. I've been listening to you since day one. I love you guys so much. Just finished your podcast where you talk about all your superstitions. We are the same person.
Really?
I will throw something into a basket, and right before I throw it, I'll say, like, if you miss this, you're never going to get married, or something absolutely insane. And I can't not give myself some sort of psycho ultimatum when I do that. I don't know why. I'll even do, if I see a penny that's heads up, I have to pick it up or else I won't have good luck. But then I feel bad if people see me picking up a penny and they think, like, I need money. And, like, I want to make sure other people that actually need the penny get the penny. So I feel guilty, and then I get into an overthink cycle. But my biggest thing is at my parents' house, the steps that go to the basement, I have to count them every single time I go up or down them. There are 14 steps, and I can count them one by one, or I can count them by twos. I have never not counted them, and I am terrified of what I would even think if I didn't count them one day.
Whoa.
So anyways, we are the same. Love you so much. Also, thank you for the protein bar recommendations. Got them 24 hours later, and they are bomb. So good.
Yes.
Love you guys. Bye.
Oh, thank you, Justine. And that's interesting, the counting the stairs, because you're always going to get the number that it is, you know, like, I wonder what that was developed from. Like, I wonder the first time she did that, being like, I wonder how many stairs. And then it was like, if you don't do that tomorrow.
Yeah, and why?
Asked to prom.
Yeah, why those stairs, too? Like, I think about that. Like, why is it? I'm sure there's a psychologist that can answer this.
Probably because you're scared going up the stairs. Because whenever I would run up the stairs in the basement, I'd be like, ooh, it's like Boogie Monster.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, that has something to do with it. Like, it's going to get you if you don't count them. I love these. I love people writing in with their superstitions. That penny thing reminded me of a Schumer joke that I used to love. And she was like, you know, I was teased by anti-Semitics in school that would, like, for being Jewish, they would, like, throw pennies at me. And I was just like, this is awesome. Oh my God. She's just like picking them up, being like, yes. I just, the turnaround on that joke, I think she did it on her first half hour, is just, that's brilliant comedic timing of, like, she kind of looks like Santa. She's like, this is odd. Like, it's just so, I always loved that joke so much.
Make
Andrew,
it a quarter.
Do you have any superstitions, Andrew?
I throw pennies at all my Jewish friends. No, I'm trying to think if I have any superstitions. Nothing that I remember. I used to listen to, like, the same song before football games, and it wasn't even a pumped up song.
What song was it? Les Mis? I dreamed a dream of time gone by.
He'll throw me a pass in the end zone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It was The River by Garth Brooks, which is, like, I think about love. Like, you know, your dream is just a river, ever changing as it flows, and a dream is just a vessel, and his body, it must go.
I don't know that song, but now I don't want to.
No, you shouldn't. Unless you really should. Yeah.
Listen, that reminded me of one of my favorite bridges of a 1999 hit. Prosperity. All right, let's get to the written Fanthrax.
All right, this is a life hack on behalf of @Aaron Regals. Oven pizza life hack. When I put a pizza in the oven, I save the box and flatten it out to use that to get the pizza off the rack. You know it is going to be the exact right size, and you don't have to worry about any dishes.
I gotta ask Aaron, does the pizza box burn? I said this to Andrew the other night
No,
because I think I saw.
I don't think you listened to it right, though. He didn't cook it with the box in there. He uses the box to just take the pizza out.
But how do you? But you would have you had a plate too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he'll slide.
So like
he flattens
it wouldn't have
the box.
saved your problem.
It could have, because I would have got the whole circumference of the pizza at the same time, as opposed to the spatula.
Oh,
You wanted me to cook the pizza with the box in there, and I was afraid I was going to burn the house on fire.
No, someone actually sent that suggestion too, and I don't think it.
One.
I still maintain that the box would not be burnt and that it would be okay. All right. Do we have anything else before we get to final thought?
Yes. Let's get to Mary. A voicemail from Mary, which I think is very fitting.
Hi, Nikki, Andrew, and Noah. I just wanted to send this message mainly to Nikki, but I've been listening, for the whole podcast. I've listened to every episode.
Oh my God, thank you.
I just wanted to say, I know, Nikki, you've been having a little bit of a hard time right now, and I just wanted to say how proud I am of you for just allowing yourself to have a bad time. And more particularly, I just remember, more towards the beginning when you guys were first starting the podcast, that you said like you had a really hard time being able to cry and being able to, be outwardly expressive with emotions like that, and that you would need to call a friend to give yourself permission to cry. And like, here you are on the pod, just like crying whenever. And I just, I know maybe you don't mean it. I don't know if you necessarily feel amazing about it, but I think it's awesome. And I think it's just shows like a lot of growth. And I love you guys, and I'm really just like proud of you, and I look up to you all a lot. And yeah, thanks.
Oh my God. What was her name?
Mary.
Mary,
thank you so much for that. Like, and how funny that I cried today on the show. Old crybaby Nikki. I honestly, like, Mary and Justine and Aaron, you're all like the reason that I was able to wake up this morning and not be as sad as I was kind of right before I went to bed last night, because I was just focusing on people that, I don't even know personally who are proud of me. Like, that feels so good. And like, part of me feels like undeserving. Like, oh my God, I can't believe they even have to waste their thoughts on me or like be worried about me in any way, or like, there's a part of me that feels like guilty that I've ever even had to make you feel like, give you a need to be proud of me. But honestly, it's like just so touching. And like, I feel that way about people I don't know that I feel really close to, whose art, is with me daily. So I really relate to that feeling, and I'm so freaking grateful for all of you. And like, it is just a nice way to kind of end the show hearing that, because last night was like really, really rough, and I'm not trying to like garner sympathy, but I was talking to someone yesterday about like describing myself as famous, and like how that doesn't sound really good sometimes when I go like, well, I'm famous, so like I wanted to make that person understand, like, I'm not saying that. Sometimes I do say that of like, listen, I'm famous. I can get us those things. Like, you don't need to pay for that. Like, maybe I can toss the fact that I'm famous, and maybe they'll care and they'll give us this thing. Like, I understand like how dumb that is. And like, sometimes you get to use it and get things for yourself and your friends because people care about celebrity, and that has some kind of currency in society, whether it's justified or not. Final thought. I bring up the fact that sometimes I feel like famous, or like whatever that means. I know there's people that are so much more famous than me. Please do not get it misconstrued and use this against me of Nikki saying she's famous and is a narcissist. Yes, I have narcissistic tendencies like we all do. Please, please, please don't misunderstand me in saying, when I tell you that I've said that before, the words I'm famous, I'm only saying that to you because I'm struggling with it a lot, because what it was like to be in the public eye in the 90s, or before Twitter, before Reddit, before message boards, before strangers being able to comment on everything. Like, the hate you got was in the National Enquirer, and like, that was painful. And it was your mom saying, listen, I talked to some girls at the salon and they were going off about you because they saw you in People magazine. It was like, that's the feedback you got of people not liking you. It was you watching The Tonight Show and hearing a joke about you, which, you know, I'm not even at that level of fame where I'm, you know, a household name enough that Jay Leno in the 90s would have referenced me. So I would have, you know, social media has given me the opportunity to become as well known, in quotes, as you would say that I am. So I'm grateful for it, but I set out to become quote unquote famous and wanted that attention as a kid because I always wanted to be popular. I always felt unseen. I wanted people to love me because I didn't feel loved enough. All of those things led me to this, but like I did not sign up to have people write 1,500 page or 1,500 letter or word diagnoses of my mental state and diatribes about why I'm a bad person and a sociopath and how someone needs to intervene and how, Nikki, if you're reading this, I'm really sorry, but it's just true and no one in your circle is going to tell you because you surround yourself with yes people and blah, 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 blah. I didn't sign up for that. And you can say, yes, you did. You know what you were getting into. You chose this life when MySpace was around. You've engaged with people on Instagram. You started a podcast in which you asked for people to like you, and that's what you sign up for. We get to ridicule you, but I would venture to say that I haven't murdered anyone yet. I haven't, like, I really promise you I'm not trying to hurt anyone, and I'm only trying to, like, my motive in being a celebrity now is just to bring happiness and to promote and to make myself feel good and to make others feel good and making myself feel good, not from like hurting anyone. And sometimes I do get that like surge of like feeling good because I make fun of Michelle Williams' voice or whatever. Like, and that's an ugly part of myself. And my ego was hurt when she made fun of me backstage at The View and on camera. And so, yeah, I'm lashing out. Bad character defect. There you go. You got me. Use it against me someday. You know, whatever your name is on Reddit that I don't remember. But I didn't sign up for this. And I'm really struggling with becoming more well-known because I don't like it. It seemingly overnight, my subreddit went from people just posting pictures of my legs and saying like, legs for days, and like my smile and being like, I love when she's happy, to hundreds of comments about why I'm a bad person and why I don't deserve anything I got and how I'm delusional and like just like the cruelest things I've ever thought about myself have been written at length. And I'm, you know, I don't want to send anyone to go read it because I really don't even, like, you'll get those things in your head and start maybe judging me based on those people's observations. So I'm really, like, I really beg of you not to go read them if you love me because it's just, and Andrew, this is to you too, even though you've maybe probably seen them.
I wrote them.
Dude, that was the best. That was the fucking best. Like, that's why we love you. I mean, honestly, that was fucking great. But I don't know that I want this, to be honest with you guys. I'm really having a hard time. Like, last night was one of the worst nights of my life.
I heard you awake. I mean, we could talk about it off air, but yeah. I mean,
it was.
I don't know what was happening.
It wasn't like. It wasn't just like, you know, oh, she thinks she's cool or she looks tired or like, you know, some of the comments that I like actively unsubscribed from that thing to just not see about my looks. Like those were always my biggest fears. And it turns out my biggest fears aren't people commenting on my looks. It's like them thinking that I am a sociopath and a narcissist and abusive and, you know, a drug addict and overly medicated, under medicated, whatever it is, like, that's my biggest fear. So, like, I hope that if anyone's listening that has written those things, like, I'm not asking for your empathy because I'm, you know, like, I've gotten so many things from being in the public life, in the limelight in terms of, like, I'm going to make this quick. I get so much from being, quote unquote, like, a little bit famous. But this other side is enough to make me want to just, like, step away and, like, maybe just invest in, like, real estate now with my money. Like, if I got to come up with a plan to avoid it, because and I thought I did, and it was the worst night of my life reading those things. And I like wish I could if I could go eternal sunshine, I would do anything like the way I felt last night. I was just like, I had, it felt like that 8-year-old staring at the blinking VCR all over again of like, oh no, I'm going to have to I can't live with being the person that these people think that I am, and not just a couple people, hundreds of people. And then there was another subreddit or a little thing that said we need to protect Nikki at all costs, and it was talking about those thoughts, and I really appreciated that subreddit. And I don't need everyone to be a vigilante for my protection. I'm not asking for that. And this is just to everyone in your life. Let's all just be a little bit kinder to each other. And me too. It made me look at myself of I just don't want to put anything like this out there that would ever make someone feel even a fraction of the way I feel. And so in that, I am really moving forward. I especially with you, Andrew, only want to make you feel good and be positive in your life and give you reason to love yourself as much as I truly love you. And I'm really sorry for ever making you feel the way I felt last night, because I really I got a taste of my own medicine and OD'd on it last night. So I just want to apologize to you, and again, apologize to fans for bookending the show with tears. And it's so awkward, and I don't like this at all. But thank you for listening. Have a great weekend and a great Tuesday night. And Andrew, disable your accounts. I really it did not feel good last night. And don't be out there. And have a great weekend. And Jack
Manatee.